Food for Life is brought to you by stinkwater.com.
Hi, and welcome to Food for Life. Have you ever thought about building a greenhouse? Well, in this episode, I'm going to show you how to do just that using some simple fencing materials. Fence boards, fence posts, some cattle panels for the roof, some plastic, and the two most important tools that you could have for a project like this are a level and a square. So let's get started. The great thing about a project like this is that you really don't need a whole lot of carpentry skill, and you need basic materials. So I have a list there for you. The materials on the left, the tools on the right. You start off with a post hole digger and you start digging some holes. I have a diagram that's coming up here that'll explain the measurements and the distance between those posts. But once you have the posts in, you're then going to lay beams across. These are 2x6 beams that go across the top to connect each one of those posts. And then what I've done is I've used lag screws to secure that 2x6 to the post. And then from there, what you do is you take cattle fencing right there and you drape it over the top and you bend it into a canopy. And it looks like this. So you're going from that post to that post, and you're securing it with U-nails. Again, pretty simple. And you might need a hand doing that. I built this by myself, but this is what the canopy looks like when it's done. Now this is the first step in putting the plastic. The outside here looks a little messy, but I'm going to be putting a vent fan on this side or maybe on the other side with a vent to get circulation through there. So this is just temporarily being held by these clamps right here. So these are just clamps that clamp right to the wood. But as I go into the greenhouse, you'll see how I overlaid the plastic atop of the cattle fencing. And what I did to hold it down is right here under the plastic, there is a 3/4 inch PVC pipe. So the PVC pipe is wedged. You can see the end cap here, but the PVC cap is wedged right on top of this 2x6, and the plastic is brought out over the outside of the tube and then pulled up so that I have the friction of the tube holding it down. And then I just basically screwed the stainless steel screws right into the PVC into each one of these beams. So that's as simple as you're going to get. You can tighten this up. The wind doesn't make it flop around at all. You'll see this will look a lot neater after I've had a chance to get the side walls up, which on the off sun side I'm going to put fence boards along here, and then have shelves for maybe some hanging plants or supplies or whatever, orchids maybe. And then I've decided to leave this cattle fencing hanging down so that you can get plant hangers, maybe put other kind of flowers to attract the bugs that need to be in here, and just keep it nice and neat. So I've already started some eggplants. You can see how nice they're growing already. This is just in a matter of 3 weeks or so. And until I get the irrigation system in, what I've done is I've taken used water bottles, cut some holes in the cap, turn them upside down to keep the moisture in the soil until I get the irrigation system put in. Now for the outside, what I've done is I've just put fence boards screwed to the 6x6 posts. Again, very simple to do. And I've taken plastic patio panels for windows and just screwed them right into the wood from the opposite side, from the inside out. And again, each section can be added on. You can see here was the first section that I put in. And I gave you that diagram on the measurements and how to place those posts. And as you grow, if you want to expand, you just continue to expand those posts and set up the canopy as you have room to build that. Now, again, this is all fence boarding on the outside. You could put tar paper on there, you could put siding, you could put tin roofing, panels, whatever you like. You could just paint it. I like the rustic look. Less maintenance. All I have to do if I want to clean it is I pressure wash the wood and it comes like brand new again. And I have PVC fencing to expand more or less the back patio on the greenhouse. And you can see the weed material, the weed block is something you can pick up. It's very inexpensive, get it at most nurseries. And you learn how to improvise. These shelves right here were purchased at auction. It was a nursery going out of business, and it's pretty simple. It's pennies on the dollar. We just bid on those and picked those up. And over here you see I'm growing pineapples in a pickle barrel. Just put drainage holes on the bottom to help keep the roots from getting soggy. And you can grow pretty much anything out of a barrel. And what you do is you just expand as you need your vegetables or plants, whatever you might want to grow. Now on the opposite side here, what I've done is I continued the fence boarding. I have a compost bin right here that I use to grow my earthworms, and I picked up a traffic signal light. It's an aluminum box here from a salvage company, and got this pretty cheap. You can find these, and what I'm doing is I'm building a battery bank, and this will be housing the batteries, keeping them cool, and I'll be putting solar panels on the shade side of the greenhouse with the panels facing the sun, obviously, and the power will be going into this battery box, and I'll have power back here. So it's basically off the grid all the way, and I'll have a separate well back here. I'm going to have a hand pump to get my water. Again, in case of emergency in Florida with hurricane season, you lose power, you still have water, you still have electricity, and it's really just a lot of fun. So all you have to do is get a post hole digger, get a level, get a square, take some vitamins, drink lots of water, and you too could build your greenhouse in a very simple way. Well, that's it for now in this episode on how to build a greenhouse. Please remember to like, to share, and subscribe so that you too can have food for life. Thanks for joining.